Okay, guys, Dave Darren here, very unprepared. Sorry, I just got off the phone and I couldn't get to you guys sooner, but thanks for being patient. I got a couple of people to join in. I didn't expect a whole lot of people today. So I was just curious if any of you two people listening ever thought about doing a show, a radio show, a podcast show. Anyone ever thought about that? So before you guys start calling in and loading up my phone lines, which is probably not going to happen, that's okay. Good to see Blue and Mr. Giannucci Cavalli, or what a hard name to say there. Let me plug in my audio just in case somebody does call in here. Let me unplug it from the back here. Like I said, a little bit unprepared today. I was all hot and heavy to do a show, and then all of a sudden I got this phone call I had to attend to. So, you know what? I wonder how many of you guys think, here's Dave trying to do a show half-assed, and maybe he should try to do shows on a regular basis. Like I used to do shows on Thursday nights, and I used to really rock and roll them at a specific time. And here I am now doing just random shows whenever I feel like it. And really, I do them whenever I have a chance to do them. And hopefully you guys don't think this, but I know some of you guys probably think that here's Dave doing shows to kind of use us in his day to calm down because of all the extra adrenaline he's got, based upon doing the daytime job that he's got, which is probably boring as hell. And guess what, guys? It is boring as hell, so I come on here because I want to stir up some energy, some enthusiasm, whether I talk to myself or two people or three people. That's kind of what I do. So I'm curious if any of you guys have ever tried doing stuff like this. Now, some of you guys aren't going to watch now. You're going to watch later on. But I know a couple of you guys have. I know Sparky's done radio or online stuff or TV stuff. I know she's done stuff. And I know a couple other you people try to do stuff like this with radio shows. I wonder what you guys do. Do you think shows that do music, shows that do comedy, shows that do UFOs? One of the shows that I did when I was all regular terrestrial radio that had the most callers was I had actually a psychic on the phone. Actually, not in the phone. He was actually in the studio. I had him there, and the phone line kept on ringing because I got a psychic on. Now, I don't intend to really get involved with having psychics on the show, but who knows? If someone knows a psychic who wants to come on, and when we have like 12 or 13 people on, like periodically do, when I do a pre-programmed scheduled show, maybe that psychic will tell some of the 12 people what's coming on in their future. So maybe that'll be a show that we'll do. But I'm curious if any of you guys have tried that. Now, you saw my opening today. I had the Jupiter 2. You know, I think everyone has a starting point in where they're interested in radio or podcast or YouTubers or whatever. A couple of things that I really like to do is I was kind of really liking the UFO and Paranormal show. Now, one thing I am going to do, because I'm switching to music, as some of you guys know, in April and May, I am going to go to the anniversary of the Phoenix Lights in Phoenix. I think it's coming up on March, if I remember, March 13th off the top of my head. I think that's actually when it is. So I'm going to go to that, and I'm going to try to do some interviews with people that are there who maybe saw the Phoenix Lights when they actually happened the first time, or came there periodically throughout the course of many years since Phoenix Lights actually happened. And they've been going there periodically, and maybe they've seen something. So I'm going to interview those folks and see what they got in their minds, what they've seen, what they've thought they've seen. So I'm still going to do a paranormal show focused on that because I think it's going to be kind of interesting. So I'm going to do that. And so what do you guys think? There's only a couple of you guys, so maybe some of you people will join in later on, do this as a replay, and then say, Dave, you know what? We'll email you and message you and see exactly. We'll let you know exactly what we've thought about. Let's see. Ariziana says, good afternoon, Dave. Good to see you. So my show today is not really to try to get an audience right now at 12:30 in the afternoon in Arizona or 11:30 in the Pacific Coast. Because first of all, I did it on the half-hour interval. Most people know that I come on right at the top of the hour rather than the half. But here I just got off the phone. So I figured I'll come online. And I'll ask this question. I could have done it probably just by typing in at Facebook and see what you guys would say. But I figured I would just come online here and ask you guys, the listeners to the show, however many listen to this in replay mode, if you guys have ever thought about trying to do a YouTube show. You know, it ain't easy. You have to have some special software to do it. Unless you just do a show with no special effects or no bumper music or no intro song. Then you can just come online with your camera and just start talking to an audience. In fact, you can do that with your cell phone as well, as you know. But if you try to get tricky with it, then you do have to have a couple pieces of software. If anyone wants to try it on their own, I'm not trying. At one point, I was trying to get co-hosts for the show, but you know what? I just figured I'll just do it. What I'm doing right now, when I do the music show, I've got producers who are going to help me to get some guests and get some PR stuff going, and maybe get some really legitimate audience for the music video / interview show. But if you guys are interested in trying to do a show like this, I could probably give you some pointers on how to do it, what kind of software you need. If you use a Mac, I happen to use a Mac. So I'll help you guys out with trying to build your own show. And don't try to come on the same time as me and compete with me. But just if you want to do your own show and you're curious, I know that a couple people do paranormal shows that have watched my show periodically. So if you're interested in doing it, I'll give you a hand with trying to figure out what kind of software you need. It'll cost you a little bit, but it's not that expensive. One of them is actually a free product that's available, and it's recommended by YouTube to use, and you can get that plugin. It's called Open Broadcast Software. I believe that's free. Some of the other stuff I use does cost you a couple pennies. It's not necessarily that cheap. It's not all that expensive either. So if you want to give it a whirl, then contact me and say, Dave, you know what? I always want to do a comedy show. I think I'm a funny guy. I like to do that. I like to have comedy guests on. When I started in radio, I actually did an adult-oriented comedy show on KFNX in Phoenix on 1100 AM. So if you want to do that and have comedians come on your show, one thing you got to be careful is when the comedians aren't funny, you got to pick up their slack. So that makes it a little bit more complicated as well. So again, if you guys want to pick my brain, see what it takes to do a show, then let me know and I'll try to help you guys out. I was trying to help out Miller, but Miller's kind of a flake. So if you guys remember, Miller used to listen to my show. I actually blocked him because he was a real pain in the ass. But if you want to attempt to do a show like this and you have an interest in doing it, it ain't easy, but it's fun. It really is fun to do. It can actually take, if you got this boring job like I've got as a project manager, and I have a little company where I bring out project managers to different facilities. If you have a job like this where your creativity is not there during the day, and you're a creative guy, so your creative juices are stored in your body and you need to get them out, then you should do a show, and I can maybe give you a little couple pointers on how to do it. So I'll help pass on the education I got on how to do it for you guys that want to try. That's all I got. I just thought I'd come on and tell you guys, if you have an interest in pulling something off like this, I'll help you out with trying to do it. All right, guys, that's all I got now. If you replay this show and you have friends that want to try it and you say, why don't you contact Dave? I'll help you out to do it. If you want to become a podcaster, or which is called a YouTuber now if you do it on YouTube. By the way, you should do it on YouTube because YouTube is the better video product. So if you want to, reach out to me. I'm at 480-236-2111. Or you can email me at Dave Darren, D-A-R-I-N is my last name, Dave Darren, at gmail.com. And I'll help you out so that you can try to do something to get your creative flow going. That's all I got. I will talk to you guys maybe I'll even come on tonight, who knows. But that's about it. Oh, let's see. Ariziana says, I don't own any desktop computer or laptop anymore. So you do need, obviously, one of them. But actually, you don't. You can do it, obviously, on your cell phone. Cell phone, you can put YouTube on your cell phone. Of course, you know that. And then you can go live on YouTube if you feel like it with your cell phone. And you can do stuff with your cell phone, except, of course, that has the complication of, just... Actually, it doesn't really add complication at all, does it? It gives you actually the ability to do remote stuff. People actually, when they go to concerts, they have their cell phone. You see them holding it up, and they're showing their audience, their friends, their family, that they're at this concert. Now, that kind of depreciates from them watching the actual concert, holding the cell phone out there and try to adjust it. They're going to miss some of the concert that way. But if you want to do it, you can obviously do it with your cell phone. I don't know what kind of power you need in your cell phone. I've got an older iPhone 7, and I know it can do it. Today's newer cell phones, they probably do a much better job. But again, that's all I got, and I will talk to you guys later. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night, who knows, whenever I get the inspiration, just like I did now, to pass on the baton and help you guys if you really want to do a show like this. And maybe doing a show like this is better than this, then I'll help you out with what you need to produce that type of show. Cheers, guys. I will talk to you soon.